All right. Well, hello everyone. Welcome to the very first episode of Wheaton On Air. Guys, this is super exciting. I am joined by my co-leaders, Ben Sisson and Isaac Bledsoe, and my RA Levi Saavedra across from me. I think it would be great just to go around and do some introductions about, who we are besides just our names. As I said, my name is Justin Hill. I am a junior studying music with an elective study in philosophy and a minor in English. So I have a lot on my plate. I am from Illinois, about an hour northeast from here. Northwest, actually. Yeah, northwest. So I'm pretty local. Who wants to go next?
I'll take it. Hi guys, I'm Ben Sisson. Um, I am a mechanical engineering major. So that alone has a lot on its plate. But I'm also involved in the men's glee club, as well as um, I love playing bass guitar for church services as well. So very involved in music. That's part of who I am as well. So um, I also enjoy lifting, and hanging out with my friends as well. So and playing video games as well. So I might hear some talking about that as well on the podcast. Isaac.
What's up, everybody? My name's Isaac. I am also a junior here on Evans One. I am a civil engineering major. I'm also on the track team. I grew up as an MK in Ivory Coast and Niger, which are countries in West Africa. And my junior year of high school, moved to Kansas City. So yeah, go Chiefs! Don't care what anyone has to say about that. But yeah, really excited.
And I'm the last one. My name is Levi Saavedra. I am also a junior. All four of us here are juniors. And I am also an MK. I grew up in Quito, Ecuador for most of my life until coming up here for college. So that's a lot of fun. I am a history major. I used to also be education, but I've decided to switch and stick to just history and then get my education major later. I actually be a master in education. So yeah, now I've heard a little bit about us, and I'm gonna hand it back to Justin.
Yeah. This idea really just came about by, just throwing out ideas about what we could get involved in or things that we could start. And I think it was in your room, Levi, that, I suggested that, hey, what if we did a podcast? And Ben and Isaac were, like, yeah, that'd be great. And we really didn't think it would actually happen, but I noticed Levi had a microphone and some headphones, and we were like, actually, this might be something that we could do. And look where we are now, recording our first episode. But obviously, one thing that we really want to talk about is, why are we doing this? We're not just making a podcast just. I mean, yes, we are making a podcast just to make a podcast, but obviously, we all have goals for what we want to, see being said on or being shared on the podcast. So I think it'd be cool if we just go around and give some personal goals for what we want this podcast to be, what name we want Wheaton On Air to represent. Obviously we are Wheaton College students, so a lot of the stuff that we'll be talking about is on campus or things that are happening in and around campus. I know my personal goals, or some of them at least, would just be to promote different things, give different groups on campus a voice that maybe they, um, maybe obviously, like, you see a poster in Lower Beamer or just in and around campus, and posters do promote something, but hearing a voice promote something is so much more than just seeing a poster. And I think you guys could speak in a little bit about what you want to see being represented on the podcast, what maybe you want to see uh promoted or talked about. But yeah, you want to take over, Isaac?
Sure. Something that I'm really excited for this podcast is to get just different perspectives from the different communities we have on campus. I mean, we we have a big international community. I think that's going to be pretty. That'd be pretty cool to get to hear all of our perspectives from different places or different organizations that we're part of, and that's one of the cool things about Christ's kingdom, all the diversity in it. I think that giving a voice to some of the lesser known parts of our campus would be really good.
Yeah, just like Justin and Isaac said, kind of um, just kind of advertising some stuff and talking about like life on campus and what's going on. I would love for this podcast to just kind of be a way to um, share opinions on what's going on around campus, but also to um, kind of inform students about what's happening, because I know every single one of you gets the undergrad email about undergrad like events and stuff like that. But if you're like me, you're not looking at that. Um, I don't have 30 minutes to scroll all the way down and read every single word. So um, maybe we'll put in a little extra time and break that down for each and every one of you and kind of get the breakdown on what's happening throughout the week and some special events that are coming up too. So we'd love to shed some light on that.
Yeah, I think I have something that's kind of interesting that I'd like to bring to the table is specifically Ooch. We're all a part of Evans One, and oftentimes, uh, what gets left out when it comes to community involvement is the upper class halls. We focus a lot on Fisher and Smaber, and that's great. We love engaging with the freshmen and getting them involved with all the different campus activities and communities they can be a part of, which is wonderful. We're very grateful to do that. But also, there's these two big buildings in the middle of campus that often don't really get a lot to say and kind of don't really necessarily have as much of a voice and aren't as flamboyant, I guess, as maybe something like, I don't know, Traber. I'm a Fisher guy, so I see Traber as kind of crazy, but fun stuff. um, anyway, yeah. So giving Ooch a bit of a voice as well is something that I'm excited for. And Res Life as a whole, I was a UCC last year, and this year I'm an RA, and so kind of giving perspective on that and kind of how we build community in Res Life is something that I'm excited to talk about and bring to the table as well.
Also, obviously, with um, bringing awareness to organizations on campus and clubs and stuff like that, um, that kind of implies that we're going to have representatives from these clubs come on the show. So we'd love to have that as well as some maybe some special guests along the way, just some random people. So we'd love to have these guests, but also one question that we found ourselves asking is, since we wanted that, how can we present this um, in a way that we want to represent this podcast and keep it family friendly in that way as well. So it'd be nice if we could just go around and if my co-host could share their thoughts on just kind of ways that guests on our podcasts or listeners and people who are interacting with our podcast can continue to keep it positive as well as respectful and loving in that community as well.
Yeah, man. You brought up a good point of you know, just being aware of what's being shared on air, and we would love to have guests from maybe international students or varsity sports or clubs or decision point or discipleship small groups and all these different groups and things that you can get involved in or go and root for. And yeah, I think it's just being it's a good idea just to have a good awareness of what's being said. And I think for me, I think it's for who's gonna be on the podcast, and for future guests. I think it's just really important to think about that. There are other people listening, and you want to be respectful, in terms of just like appropriate language, not sharing things that could be inappropriate or offensive to others. Yeah, and we don't really have to dwell on that, but I think that's just clear. If basically, if you don't think it should be shared on air, you probably shouldn't share it. Um, but yeah, speaking about things and events on campus, Ben, you already talked about this. We'll try to go through the events and talk about, maybe do a brief overview of different things that are happening throughout the week. We could. I know there's all school communion happening this Sunday, so just be aware of that. If you'd like to go to that, that's I believe that's 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock at Edmond Chapel. So be sure to go to that. Should be a fun night of worship. Um, yeah. And then how often is an episode gonna be? Isaac, if you want to talk a little bit about that.
Well, we're all college students working very hard in college at that. So we want to try to get one out every week. Obviously, with classes going crazy, and we have midterms in 2 weeks, like different stuff. We have to.
That's ridiculous.
We might have to adjust depending on how our schedules are all lining up, and we'd be very grateful for your patience with that. But goal is to try to get one out once a week, I think.
And also, we'll always keep you posted on the schedule. So, we have our Instagram page. You'll go follow that, Wheaton On Air. So go follow that. That's where we're gonna post kind of our schedule. So, we'll let you know if there's gonna be an episode coming out, or if we just can't make one that week. So we'll keep you guys posted on that. Also, I wanted to talk a little bit about like community engagement. Obviously, we want you guys to be able to interact with us and engage with the content that you guys are hearing. So some ways you can do that on our Instagram page as well. We're gonna be posting clips. We'd love to see comments of things you might want us to talk about, or things you would like to see or hear on the podcast. Also, if you want to reach out to us and you have a story to share, but you don't necessarily want to be on the podcast itself, you can write us an email, and we'll share your story, and kind of discuss it, and have our opinions on that as well. Yeah, you can also through that email you can also reach out to us if you really want to be on the podcast, or if you know somebody who you think would be fun to listen to on the podcast. You can kind of nominate your friend. And if there's a lot of nominations, we'll reach out and try and get them on the podcast. But that email that you can reach us at is wheaton.on.air@gmail.com. So we'd love to hear from you guys on that as well.
I'm just gonna. I don't have anything else to add other than we're kind of a little bit of a shameless plug here for just some Res Life stuff that's going on. I don't know if you might be able to hear in the back some tearing of tape and just rolling of tape, if you can hear any of that. We are currently setting up for a raid that is supposed to happen in 8 minutes. We're gonna raid. Yeah. We're gonna raid Mac 1 here. This is gonna be a lot of fun, and encourage you to swing by and see what kind of stuff we did over there. And yeah, so by the time you hear that, you could get a chance to see that. They rated us earlier, and we decided to retaliate a little bit of friendly competition here. So yeah, if you want to go ahead and swing by Mac 1, you get to see what we've done over there. And yeah, the ping pong table is ours now by the time you're listening to this.
Yeah, don't be a stranger. Come and visit. As we said, we have our Instagram page and our email. But the best form of conversation, is just face to face. So if you want, you can just come to Evans 1, swing by Levi Savage's room. Or we're in room 141. Just give us a knock. I don't know if we will be there consistently because we might be in class or playing intramural sports or just elsewhere on campus, but feel free to come knock on a door anyway and take that chance. We would love to see you. Yeah.